I'm on a walk, so bear with me if it's a bit windy. Crew, my son was not hungry. Fed him. He was not tired. Just woke up. Wasn't really in the mood to play, but he wanted something, and so I was like, you know what? Maybe he needs to get outside because I know he really likes going outside, and maybe I need to get outside, even though it's a little bit windy today. It's good for both of us. Get some movement, get some vitamin D, get some fresh air. We're out here to obviously help manage our stress, and so I'm thinking about tomorrow's video. Well, I'm recording this ahead of time, so I'm thinking about the video I wanted to post on stomach acid, and I'm reminded about how stress impacts transit time of our food. The more stressed we are over time, this turns into chronic stress, and we produce less stomach acid when this happens. Our food gets held up inside of us and doesn't process as well. That's what it means when we have less transit time. Lower transit time also equates to, like I said, lower stomach acid, making it harder for us to absorb the nutrients, like I was talking about in last week's video. This can look like lower levels of B12, iron. So if you're anemic, something to consider. Not necessarily to try and eat more red meat, but to try and increase stomach acid. Why stomach acid is important? Simply stated, it's a protective barrier. It acts as a protective barrier, not only for us to process the food, but also to support our mucosal lining, which can help prevent leakage in our gut, which can prevent food intolerances, or as you may have heard of before, leaky gut. In essence, the more stomach acid we have, the more we're able to process the food, the more we're able to gain the benefits from the food, and the more our body is protected from things that may otherwise harm it, or nutrient deficiencies. A lot of people nowadays are under chronic stress, even if they don't have an autoimmune condition or cancer or anemia or eczema or these more chronic conditions. We're busy. I mean, literally, I'm making this video outside on a walk because I'm busy tomorrow. Like, nobody's immune to this. We have to be really intentional to go against the stream of productivity. So when we're under acute stress, we actually produce more stomach acid for the time being. That means our food processes through us faster. But like I said, when we stay in that state, when we aren't able to recover from that stress or transition out of it smoothly and get to a relaxed state, get to a rest and digest state, then we enter that chronic stress state. Are you one of those people who has low stomach acid? How do you find out? There's 3 ways that you can find out if you have low stomach acid, or it may not be causative. I want to be careful here. There is one test that does a really good job of figuring out if you are low in stomach acid, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. At the end of after telling you about the 3 different kinds of tests that can be done, I'll give you a couple pointers on how to increase stomach acid. Okay, the first one is called the Heidelberg stomach acid test. Basically, you swallow a capsule that's attached to a radio transmitter, and you drink a solution of sodium bicarbonate, and it'll tell you through a really cool graph your exact pH level in your stomach. And we want to see that pH level at a certain point, and whether it's above or below that, it gives you an unbiased result. So that one is really helpful. It's like the gold standard, even though most docs probably won't do it. So I've learned, because they're obviously diagnosing an overproduction of stomach acid. So that's unfortunate, but if you're willing to pay for it, $350, get an unbiased absolute answer, then that would be your gold standard, the Heidelberg stomach acid test. Your second option, which is free and you can do it at home, is called the baking soda assessment. In this one, how it works is you take an 8 to 10 glass of water and you put a teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate in it, and you just drink that water first thing in the morning. You want to do it on an empty stomach, and the soda or bicarbonate is going to mix with the acid in your stomach if you have an ample amount, and you're going to start burping. So within 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to burp. And if you don't, or you burp very minimally, I'm talking like seriously minimally, then it may be an indicator that you don't have enough stomach acid in your system, or you're in a deficiency of it. This is not diagnostic. I would take your results with a grain of salt, but we know that having a generous amount of stomach acid is beneficial, so it doesn't hurt to do and see what your results are. Your third option is called the betaine, if I'm saying this correctly, betaine hydrochloric acid test. And this one's a little bit more, there's just a few more steps to it. So if you want to get in on the hydrochloric challenge, then just comment stomach acid below and I can send you the handout for how to do that and how to get that done. So let's say you do these tests and you're like, hey, I'm low in stomach acid. I'm been told I might be slightly anemic, or I was definitely not burping a lot when I was doing that at-home assessment, or I've been actually diagnosed with low stomach acid, or what have you. What can you do? We touched on this a little bit. We touched on stomach acid support in consuming apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, and so I just want to talk about those a little bit more. A big key component here is that you want to start low and go slow. So that means mixing a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar or half a lemon into some water and seeing how your stomach responds to that. You might have some digestive issues. This is why it's important to track and go slow. And then you slowly work your way up to a tablespoon. Just do that on a regular basis, like every day, a couple times a day, and see, as your stomach allows, how that makes you feel and how you are able to absorb nutrients better. If you want to have more support in how to do this in your personal life, or have someone support you in tracking that, comment below. Just comment, I don't know, just say track, and I can be in touch and we can talk about what that can look like to work together. Yeah, that is our stomach acid. I hope you learned a little bit, and if you have any questions, please comment. I love interacting with you. I don't want this to be just an educational forum, though I do like to teach. Let's get connected. You don't have to buy anything from me. Let's just start a conversation. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about, I'm totally open to suggestions. I would love to answer your questions and talk about the things that you're interested in. Hope you have an opportunity to get outside today and enjoy the weather wherever you're at. The wind is starting to die down a little bit, and it's actually starting to feel really nice. So I will talk to you next week where we dig into stress more. Bye.